Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Today we're tackling something that's literally changing the way our brains work, social media and its effects on our neurology.
Yeah, this is fascinating and a little scary at the same time. We're talking about actual physical changes happening in our brains because of how we use social media.
It's wild when you think about it. We pick up our phones hundreds of times a day, scroll mindlessly, and think it's harmless, but our brains are being rewired in real time.
Exactly, and most of us have no idea it's happening. So let's break this down. What does rewiring actually mean?
Good question. Our brains are incredibly plastic. That means they can change and adapt based on our behaviors and experiences. When we repeat an activity over and over, our brain creates new neural pathways to make that activity easier.
So it's like if you practice guitar every day, your brain builds stronger connections for that skill. But the same thing happens with social media use.
Precisely. Every time you scroll, like a post, or check notifications, you're reinforcing certain neural pathways. And here's the kicker. Social media is designed to exploit this.
Right, it's not accidental. These platforms are engineered by teams of psychologists and neuroscientists who understand exactly how to keep us hooked.
Let's talk about dopamine for a second. You know, that feel-good chemical in our brains.
Oh, yeah, the reward chemical. We get a hit of dopamine when we eat good food, achieve something, or spend time with people we love.
Exactly. But here's what social media does. Every notification, every like, every comment triggers a small dopamine release. It's like a tiny reward.
And our brains love rewards, so we keep coming back for more, right?
Bingo! It creates what's called a variable reward schedule. You don't know when you'll get that next like or comment, so you keep checking. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines so addictive.
Wow, that's actually disturbing. So we're basically training our brains to crave these little hits of validation?
Unfortunately, yes. And over time, our brains start to prioritize these quick, easy rewards over longer-term, more meaningful ones.
That explains why it's so hard to focus on things that require sustained attention, like reading a book or having a deep conversation.
Exactly. Social media conditions us for short bursts of information. Scroll, consume, move on. Scroll, consume, move on. Our attention spans are literally shrinking.
I've noticed this in myself. I used to be able to read for hours. Now, after 20 minutes, I feel this urge to check my phone.
You're not alone. Studies show that the average attention span has dropped from 12 seconds to 8 seconds in just the last 2 decades. That's shorter than a goldfish.
That's actually embarrassing for us as humans. But it makes sense. If our brains are constantly switching between tasks and information, we lose the ability to focus deeply.
And it's not just attention span. Social media is also affecting our memory. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to remember things now?
Oh my God, yes. I'll read an article and forget what it was about 5 minutes later.
That's because we're not processing information deeply anymore. We're skimming, scanning, consuming massive amounts of content without actually absorbing it.
So our brains are in this constant state of shallow processing?
Exactly. And when information doesn't get processed deeply, it doesn't get stored in long-term memory. It just disappears.
That's actually pretty concerning for our cognitive health long term.
It really is. But let's talk about another aspect, social comparison. This is huge.
Oh, yes, we touched on this in our last episode about self worth, but how does it affect the brain specifically?
When we compare ourselves to others, especially unfavorably, it activates the same brain regions associated with physical pain. The anterior cingulate cortex lights up.
So, when we see someone's perfect vacation photos and feel inadequate, our brain is literally experiencing a form of pain?
Yes, and what's worse, chronic exposure to social comparison can actually alter our brain structure. The amygdala, the part responsible for processing emotions, can become hyperactive.
Which means we become more anxious and emotionally reactive?
Exactly. People who spend more time on social media show increased activity in brain regions associated with anxiety and depression.
And it creates this negative feedback loop. We feel anxious, so we check social media for distraction or validation, which makes us more anxious.
It's a vicious cycle. And let's not forget about FOMO, fear of missing out.
Oh, that's a big one. The constant stream of everyone else's activities and achievements makes us feel like we're missing out on life.
Right, and FOMO activates our brain's threat detection system. We feel like we're being left behind, excluded from the tribe. That's a primal fear.
And historically, being excluded from your social group was literally a survival threat, so our brains take it very seriously.
Exactly. So even though logically we know that missing a party or not traveling to Bali isn't life-threatening, our primitive brain doesn't distinguish.
This is making me want to delete all my social media right now.
I hear you. But here's the thing. It's not about completely abandoning social media. It's about understanding what's happening and using it more intentionally.
So, what can we actually do? How do we protect our brains from these negative effects?
Great question. First, awareness is key. Just knowing what's happening helps you recognize when you're falling into these patterns.
Right. Like when you catch yourself mindlessly scrolling, you can stop and ask, why am I doing this? What am I actually looking for?
Exactly, and set boundaries. Decide when and how long you'll use social media. Maybe no phones during meals or no scrolling first thing in the morning or before bed.
The morning and night ones are so important. Starting and ending your day with social media sets your brain up for that dopamine-seeking behavior all day long.
Absolutely. Instead, try starting your day with something intentional. Meditation, exercise, reading, or just sitting with your thoughts.
I've started doing this thing where I don't touch my phone for the first hour after waking up. It's been game-changing.
That's awesome. Another strategy is to turn off notifications. Those constant pings and buzzes are interrupting your focus and training your brain to be reactive.
Yes, notifications are basically Pavlovian conditioning. Every ping makes us reach for our phones like trained dogs.
And that's a harsh but accurate analogy. You can also try doing regular digital detoxes, a day, a weekend, or even a week without social media.
I did a week-long detox last month, and honestly, the first 2 days were rough. I kept reaching for my phone out of habit. But by day 3, I felt this mental clarity I hadn't experienced in years.
That's your brain starting to rewire itself again. It's recovering from that constant stimulation and learning to find satisfaction in deeper, slower activities.
And you know what else helps? Replace social media time with real social connections. Actually call someone, meet a friend for coffee, have face-to-face conversations.
That's so important. Our brains evolved for in-person interaction. When we talk to someone face-to-face, we pick up on body language, tone, facial expressions, all these rich social cues that social media can't provide.
And those real interactions release different chemicals in our brains. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, for example. That's the stuff that actually makes us feel connected and happy long term.
Right, not just a quick dopamine hit that feeds in seconds. Real connection provides sustained well-being.
Another thing I've been doing is being more intentional about what I consume. I've unfollowed accounts that make me feel bad and followed more educational or inspiring content.
That's smart. Curate your feed to serve you, not drain you. If you're going to spend time on these platforms, at least make sure the content is adding value to your life.
And practice mindful scrolling. Actually pay attention to how you feel while you're using social media. If you notice anxiety, envy, or inadequacy creeping in, that's your signal to stop.
Yes, treat those feelings as data. Your brain is telling you something. Listen to it.
We should also talk about the positive side. Social media isn't all bad. It can be used for good.
Absolutely. It can help us stay connected with distant friends and family, learn new things, find communities with shared interests, raise awareness about important causes.
Right. The tool itself is neutral. It's how we use it that matters.
Exactly. The key is conscious, intentional use rather than passive, mindless consumption.
So, to sum up, social media is literally changing our brain structure and function. It's affecting our attention, memory, emotional regulation, and reward systems.
But we're not powerless. By understanding these mechanisms and implementing strategies like setting boundaries, taking breaks, and using platforms more intentionally, we can protect our mental health.
And remember, your brain is plastic. That means it can change. If social media has rewired your brain in unhelpful ways, you can rewire it back through different behaviors and habits.
It takes time and effort, but it's absolutely possible. Be patient with yourself.
Start small. Maybe just turn off notifications today or commit to one phone-free hour. Small changes add up.
And pay attention to how you feel. You'll probably notice you're calmer, more focused, and more present when you're not constantly plugged in.
Your brain will thank you. Your relationships will thank you. Your productivity will thank you.
So take control of your technology use before it controls you. Your brain is too precious to let an algorithm dictate how it develops.
Well said. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. This was a big topic, and we hope it gave you some insight into what's happening behind the scenes in your mind.
If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and follow us for more English learning through self-improvement conversations.
Take care of your brains, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye.